あーわーこしがわーういーあー聞こえますかーわー聞こえてんな多分こんにちはこんにちは聞こえる？オッケーオッケーオッケーオッケー。プロジェクトブル所属リリッシュのシュガーグライダーです。はい。なんだっけ。ゲームの音もさ入ってる？今なんかガチャガチャガチャガチャガチャとか今電話だったわ。ね、いろいろあると思うんですけど、ちゃんと聞こえてますでしょうか？あとなんかレカせいたりしないですか？いやこのゲームなんだっけ、ザ・デルターボみたいなゲームね。ちょっとゲーム名読めないんですけど、なんとねアップデートで公式日本語訳が来たのよ。もともと有志の方のあれでなんか日本語パッチ的なのはねあったんですけど、ちょっとねやっぱ日本語がなんだろう、怪しい感じのさ日本語訳だったの、多分直訳だったのかな、わかんないけど、それが公式の日本語訳が来まして、まあね、英語ダメダメなシュガちゃんもニコニコで遊べるということで、楽しみ楽しみで、今日はね、前情報でさ、指示中 VS 逆張り女かっこシュガーグライダーのね結末を見よみたいな感じで話してますけれども、とりあえずね頭すっからかんにして普通に楽しもうと思います。なんか毎回この指示に立てつく感じではなくちょっと普通に楽しんでみようかなって。わかんないけど、いやなんか別に全然逆張りするところもあるとは思うんだけどだけどとりあえず普通に楽しんでみるわ普通にね、で普通に楽しんで普通に嫌だよーんっていうところも全然あると思うはい、やっていこう。早速やっていこう。やるべ。お、急に音がなくなっちゃった。始めるをした瞬間急に音がなくなっちゃった。ローディングは 100% の、始まったわ。クリックすると、声でかスタンリー。スタンリーじゃないわ。お前はスタンリーじゃない。
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in order. This is what employee 427 did every day, every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-breaking, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.Though he had been made exactly
楽勝じゃん、絶対嘘。何年も何ヶ月もやればやばいよ。
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
何かが
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
動けるようになった。待って、ちょっと噛んだったちょっと噛んだったか。あとナレーションがこれぐらいでどうですか？みんな言わない？大丈夫？これゼロはおかしいか。これなんか狭いんだよね。出ていくか。 これ触れないの？なんもね。なんもね。クリックとかじゃない？出ていくだけ？足速くないこいつ。
All of his co-workers were gone.
彼の同僚たちは全員いなくなってしまったのです。どう
Stanley
いうことだ
decided
ろ
to
う。
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
伝言
memo.
を見落とした？本当に？
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he
同
couldn't
僚
find
の
a trace of his
痕
co-workers.
跡は見つかりません。やばくない？おい、432番もやばいぞみんな。432番もだいぶやばいけどな。ずいぶん楽しそうな仕事してんねんか。え？本当に実績のためだけにやってるんだ。誤解するだけでなんか早々に怒られた気がするんだけど。怒られるんだな。50回だって。頑張るわ。指が指があ、ゲームオンロボロボしてる。前もあったね、なんかそんなこと。もうないか。100回ぐらいやったと思うんだけどな。さすがに何も言われんか。開けてください。あれ、私こっから出てこなかった？あれ、こっから出てきた？あれ、こっから出てきた？ダメだったみたい。ダメだったみたい。あ、開いてるよ、なんか。なんか音がさ、パソコンのタイプ音なんだよな。ダメか。行くか。でもさ、これホラゲない、ホラゲじゃない。ゲームしてる人ってさ、こういうことしない？こういうことするよね。開けられるかどうか確認する的な。するよね。見落としないかみたいな。
Stanley clicked on literally every
文字
single
通りオ
door
フィ
in the
スの
office
すべて。
because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
オフィスのすべてのドアをガチャガチャしたって言われた。してやるか。コップ。あ、落としてる。あ、すげえ。今週が体験テスト。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
左の
he
方の
entered
ドア
the
に
door
入り
on
ま
his
した。
left.
あ、閉めらんないんだ。え？あ、びっくりした。抜けてんのかと思った。あ、 かる外。どうする？左だって。どうする？
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
来ちゃうよな。サムネ回収だけしないとなと思って。なんか荒れてますけど、大丈夫ですか？生きてますか？皆さん、生きてますか？安全確認も兼ねてるから、これ。はい。なんかね、気になるドアはあるんだけど、どこも開かないんだよ。行くしかないのか。ドア閉めないでいいの？閉められないの。
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
褒めた
It
たえ
had
る価
really
値がある
been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully
ほんの
constructed
少
room.
し過ごすだけでいい。
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
お金ないみたい、スタンリー。スタンリーお金ないみたい。
Yes, really, really worth
い
it
る価
being
値
here
があ
in
る
the
って。
room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysterious but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
最初の左側のドアに入りましたって言った？最初の左側のドアだな、ここ。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
なんだここ。開けてくれ。開けてくれないみたい。なんだここ。なんだ、アマゾンか？アマゾン倉庫か
？Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
自
foot
腹を
here.
くじからかもしれ
I'm
ま
not
せ
your
ん。
enemy, really.
私はあなたの敵じゃないん
I
です。
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about
死んじゃう
nothing
かな？
but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting,
死んじゃうか
Stanley.
な？
Someone you forgot.
え
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
おごってる。閉まっちゃった。ドアガチャは基本よな。あ、ジャンプできないんだ。な。パスト。こんにち
Now
は。
listen carefully, this is important.
よく聞いて大
Stanley
事なことなん
walked
です。
through the red door.
青いドア、赤いドアを通り抜けました。赤いドアってなんて言ってた？赤ってた？どうしようかな。3倍の色は好きだけどな。でもね、ここまでせっかくさ、
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
OK。OK。
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
怖そうだったよ。怖そうだったけどな。真っ暗だよ。
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
だって違うじゃん。1番がいいじゃん、やっぱりさ。何事においても。もう一回。
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
もう一回お願いします。
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
ちょっと構わないかな。
Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
うるさ。うるさ。
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done.
帰るって。どうしよう。置いてかれたかもしれん。
Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
また違うゲーム？
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
肝タワーなんだここ。
Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. and it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture
外
outward
に
and
向
see
かい
what else
他
is
に
out
何かある
there.
か見てみましょう。外に向かい他に何かあるか見てみます。装備は服着てかなくていい？持ってかなくていい？何も持ってかなくていい？何も持ってかなくていいみたい。電気消した？おー。メカよ。
Oh no. No, 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 it can't
な
be.
になになになになにどういうこと？それは無理って何？それは無理って何？なになになに？
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
なんでなんでなんで
Oh,
なんで
goodness, Stanley, what a close
お
call.
外出して。
You really wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any.
あ
Oh, oh, thank heavens we
そっか。
avoided it.
怖いのか自由が。
Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably
いけそうだ
something
け
with
どな。
walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
そっか。ああああ。なんだこいつ。お？
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind.
なんだ？
Just a
そっか。
nice big box for you to
あれ、なん
run
か。
around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost
あれ、
here.
ロッケ
Now
リ？
this is game design. Stanley, if you
気の
manage
せい。
to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
あれ？自分のみたい
Okay,
に
so what
車になってた
exactly
りな
do we
な
do
ってない。
here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball?
どこボー
Stanley,
ル？
I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do
走
a
ってタッチ
touchdown
ダウン一
together.
緒にしようよ。わかった。
Yes, I think surely we must.
わかった。
Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
どこどこブーン。あれあれああ、来た来た来た。なんかやたら遅いね。いいぞいいぞ
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more
下手かもしれない。
euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
ゴール
Yes. Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Hold on.
What?
What are you doing?
うわー
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
声聞こえなくなっちゃった。真っ暗だ。これ落ちちゃうかな。あらー。うわ。さすがに真っ暗。こっちか。あ落ちちゃった。うわ。おお。ホラゲみたいだな。だいぶホラゲだけど。声聞こえなくなっちゃった。寂しい。怖いけど。怖いけど。あれあれ暗くないこの先。わわわわわわわ 方向音痴。あ、明るい。あっちや。なんか追いかけてきそう。やだな。でも暗い方の方がさ、良かったかな。あそこ行かないとダメ。やだな。あれあれおはおは
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close,
これが終わったら
then
全
I'll
て
be
が終わったら
back.
また戻ってきます。
The end will be here soon. Very soon.
あ、本当？
I can wait.
もうちょっとで終わる？お、
All of his co-workers. Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Ah, これは言ってくんないんだ。なるほど。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
言うこと聞いてやるか、1回ぐらい。会議室じゃね？
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
引き返してきました。使えそうなアイテムがいっぱいあるんですよ、ここに。
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
伝ってないもん。カチャカチャしてるもん。
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. It didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
ここの間に入りたいな。ちょっとデブか。
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
隅っこエンドが一番好きだわ。いいやん、隅っこエンド。
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
は
He probably only got the job because of a
Huh?
family connection. That's
お
how
い、悪
stupid
口
he
言い出す
is.
急
That all
に。
with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
なんだ急に悪口言いやがって。
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now.
わし
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical
な、
malady
悪
of
口
some
言っ
sort
たから相手
shut
の負
down
けよ
your
な、どう考
central
えたっ
nervous
て。
system
お前
and
の
you
負け。
collapsed on the keyboard.
キ
Well,
ー
in
ボ
a
ー。
situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological
おもろす
vulnerabilities.
ぎる。
It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the
そ
hallway.
れ終わったら廊下に出てねだって。オッケー。ちょっと待ってみる？どんくらい待ってみようかな。うん、35分ぐらいまでちょっと雑談するか。こういうのさ、あるんだよね。アンダーテールとかでもさ、なんだっけ、放置してさ、なんだっけ、次のエリア行かずに放置とかしてると、なんだっけ、ママから電話がめっちゃ鳴るとかさ、あるんだよね。このゲームもね、そういうのがもしかしたらあるかもしれない。たまんねえよな。気が済んだら出てねとか言われたらさ、どうしよう。このまま1時間ぐらい喋ってしまったら、このまま1時間ぐらい喋っても何もなかったらどうしようかな。スリープにしてこのまま一生このゲームこのままにしたろうかな。さすがにやばいか。うん、24時間放置で実績とかだったら笑うね。実績さ実績全開放するの好きなんだよね。ね、そういうのあんのかな、このゲームにも実績。あと1分か。結構粘るね。逆に5分ぐらい粘るか。逆になあ、5分なんて短い方でね。5分で実績だったら。耐久配信何分から待ってるっけしは。これね、なんかさ、すごいうるさく感じるよね。そんなに大きいおっちゅうないのにさ。ちっちゃい頃さ、なんだっけ、マーカーのさ、シンナーの匂いが好きな人いなかった？シュが好きじゃないんだけど。どんな話の入り方って感じだと思うんだけど、なんかこういうところ見てたら思い出しちゃった。超好きじゃないんだけど、いたやんね、いたよね、そういうの好きですっていう、ちょっと頭がやばいやつ。シュが好きじゃなかったんだけど、あ、やばー。シュ今日さ、新しいスマホケースを買ったの。バカ可愛いんだけど、絶対見せないけど、可愛い。今不意に自分の携帯見て可愛いってなっちゃった。鉛筆の芯の匂い好き。鉛筆の芯の匂い買おうなんて思ったことないよ。なんで？見せて。嫌だよー。嫌だよー。なんかクリアケース、紫のクリアケースなんだけど、そのクリアケースの中にちいかわのモモンガのシール入れた。可愛すぎ。可愛すぎ。 工作室とかいろいろなものある。確かに美術室とかいい匂いだったな。ね、わかるわ。ちいかわかわいいよね。ちいかわのもんがバカかわいい。やっぱりなんだろう、若干さ通ずるものを感じるもんね。やっぱりもんが可愛いからなっちゃうんだよね。まあ中身はあれだけどでも可愛いから許されるよね。ホームセンターとか木材の匂いとかいいよね。ホームセンターはめっちゃ楽しくない？しかも最近DIY もしてみたいんだけど、普通に庭とか DIY したいが。でもあれがないよな。土地がないんだよな。なんかプロブル事務所の庭とか勝手に DIY したら怒られそうじゃねしたいけど勝手にさめっちゃ怒られそう犬小屋何作りたい？ちっちゃい池作りたい。ちっちゃい池の周りに苔敷いてで棚作って外に置ける棚、その棚の上にちっちゃい盆栽を置きたい。何気に和風を求めるという。そんでもって池にあれ作るわ。じゃあカコーンってやつ竹のカコンってなるやつたまると。ポップコーンマシンあるじゃん。もうふざけるのよ。庭にポップコーンマシン置いて風情があると思ってるのかな。ししおうとしね。でもそろそろ5分経つか。仕方ね、出てやるか。仕方ね。
Second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
悪いことはできない。悪いことはできないって信じてるって。
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
OK。もう話さない？もう話してくれない？もう何も話してくれないの？じゃあ出てくか。ねえ、何も話してくんなくなった。わあ。残ったみたい。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
上の
office.
階段にある上司の部屋へと。赤いよ。なんで赤いの
？But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! Yeah. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid.
ループって怖くね
He imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
あれ
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
なんだ
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he
ね
thought.
無限ループって
And
怖い
while
よ
he
な
thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
証明す
So
る
he closed his eyes gently,
お
and he
わ
invited himself to
寝
wake
ち
up.
ゃう
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back,
あ
the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up,
あ
he thought to
あ
himself.
なんかギリ
I'm
わ
through
か
with
る
this dream.
な
I
んか
wish
ギ
it
リ
to
見え
be
んのわかる
over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the
ほら
buttons.
ほら
Please. It's all I want.
あほら
I
ほら
want
ほら
my
ほら
apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life
見えない
exactly the
見え
way
ない
it's
か配
always
信だ
been.
と若干ね
My life is
めっ
normal.
ちゃ目を凝
I
らすと
am
ね
normal.
若干
Everything will be fine.
若干ね
I am okay.
オッケーうわーびっくりえあれ
Stanley began screaming. Please,
Oh, no,
someone
no,
wake me
go,
up.
go,
My
go,
name is
go,
Stanley.
go,
I have a
go.
boss. I have an office. I am real. Please,
Go,
just
go,
someone
go,
tell me
go,
I'm
go,
real.
go.
I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am
あ
I?
やめてやめてやめてやめて大きい
And
音出すのや
everything
め
went
て
black.
大きい音出すのやめて狂っちゃっ
This is
た
the story of a woman named Mariella.
マリエラ
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
マリ
She
エラ
rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no
倒れ
time
て
for
んの
this,
指示王子
so it was
説やば
only
い
a
な
moment that she stood there, staring down at the body,
死んじゃった
and then she turned and ran.
死んじゃったね警察に電話しないんだね死んじゃった
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
死んじゃったおかえり死んじゃった 死んだ。すごいね。
When
いっぱい
Stanley
エン
came
ド
to
があ
a
るのお
set
も
of
ろい
two
よね。
open doors, he entered the door
もう
on
一
his
回。
left.
あ
Yet there was not a single person here either.
あいだ。
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
上行くか。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
ボスアザオフィス。こんにちは。このゲームおもろいよるいか。やりな。これなんて書いてある？わかんねえや。読めね。字が汚い。アベゴットザフィーリング。モングースフォアセッティングバットユーオブラバーソギサライペイエーイイエーイね、パンダは頭のつつじつかれてる。かわいそう。イエーイ。ほら、かわいそう。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication
どう
of
ろう
any
ぜ、こ
human
の偉
life.
そうな椅子に。
Shocked,
いっちゃん気
unraveled,
持ち悪
Stanley
そうや
wondered in
ん。
disbelief
いないん
who
やし。
orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
2,
But
8,
of
4,
course, Stanley
5.
couldn't possibly have known. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
言ったもん
He
ね。
stepped into the newly opened passageway.
また裏側みたいなとこ来ちゃった。あ、怖いね。え、でも下行けって書いてあるよ。気のせい。何この謎空間。えい。あれ？えい。おー、ホラゲみたい。ギリギリさ、間に合わないよね、敵。こういうので下がるとき。
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
下が
Why
り
did
す
he
ぎじゃ
feel
ね？
this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
壊れた？あ、壊れてない。
Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
ごめんごめん。もう一回下がるから。ごめんごめん。間違えた間違えた。戻れないんだと思ってもう戻れないんだと思って。ああ。ここに謎スペースある。戻るか。
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Ba-ba-ba. 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 ダメか。もうないんかな。なんだ？開かないよ。開かないよ。閉じ込められたくね？同じ番号？なぜだっけ？教えてくれたからさ、あいつが。なんだっけ？あれなんか、こんなん、あれなんだっけ？4649？よろしくじゃねえかお前。2845ババババ2486バババ壊れちゃった。なんかあるかな他に。1個入んないわ。戻れないんだよ。だって開かないんだもん。ほら。やばない試す回数やばいから。ニコニコべべべべ2485べべべべ明るい方行く？明るい方。でも明るい方行くとさ、こっちなんだよね。あれ？積んだ？いけるじゃん。
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again.
違うんで戻れなかったの。
How does he keep coming up with all this?
戻れなかったの。よいしょ。パチってなるから。
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
そうでしょ？どうする？こんなこと言われたらさ、戻りたくなるくない？どう思う
？Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No.
違うよ。
It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
ドキドキしちゃう。エレベーター楽しいね。エレベーター楽しいね。変わってないよね。変わってないみたい。うわっ、びっくりした。びっくりした。オッケー。あ。
need more time in process.
ブンパカバッパブンパカバッパブンパカバッパブンパカバッパ。あ、of course.パッパカなんかゆっくりになったくない？降りるの。気のせいか。ブンパカパッパッパッパカ。こうパッチンってなるから。バイバイ。はあ？音がバグってる？音がプツプツしてる？音が50になってる？なわけ。なわけ。ちょっと待ってね。今音切ったわ。ほんならば、これは、あれはわーん。これさ、今どうなってんだ？つったかだったったっただ。つったかだったったっただ。これさ、今さ、デスクトップ音声入ってるかわかんないんだけど。非表示にしちゃった。デスクトップ音声。これ今さ、足音聞こえる？シュガーの声は違う。シュガーの声はね、ずっと入れっぱや。足音聞こえないか。ああ、じゃあディスクトップ音声入ってないんだ。なるほどね。なるほどね。なるほどね。ブンパカバッパッパッパパ。デバイスタブスタンプ。スピーカーじゃないんだよな。でもさ、これだと声だけだもん。ダメだ。もう一回入れ直すか。削除。削除。こうして、こうして、こうするじゃろ？そうすると、音は入るんだよ。これで、音がね、バグってないかどうかなんだよね。聞こえた？聞こえた？足音聞こえた？今はバグってない？パカパッパッパッパンパカパッパッパンパパンパカパッパ。時間経過でバグってる。
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow.
なんで
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years. And it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh good, we're here. Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
おもろ。入れないか。なんだこれ。オールイヤーズヌン。
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
ここしかないって。本当に？本当見た。ここしかないみたい。仕方ないな。これか。
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
誇りに思ってるっ
Okay,
て。
it looks like they're ready for you. Go get them.
ほう。イエーイ。おとるせー。耳が。夢人になった。っていう夢だったのさ。ないか。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What can I
Stanley
mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What can I mean? Go 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 go. ね、うるさかったよ
When
ね。
Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
で、一
he
通
entered
りや
the
ったか、
door
こ
on
っ
his
ちは。
left.
一 タンにも行ったし。あ、でも上司の部屋の奥のエレベーター見てない。でっけれみん。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
もう変わったんだよ。ほら。いい資料だ。うん。次のページへ。なるほど。とってもわかりやすい。次のページへ。なるほど。利益は出てると。次のページへ。最近落ちぶれているんだな、我が社。なるほど。全国と比べるとこんなにも。オーマイガー。あ、戻っちゃった。次のページへ。ちゃんと読んで、読めない。読めるわけねえだろ。これ何にも、あ、変わってる。すごい変わってるね、ちゃんとね。表示されるの。すごくない？ずっとループするんだと思った。うん、変わっとるわ。ね、すごいね。またゲームオン行かれてる？またゲームオン行かれてる？なんかあれやね、OBS くんアップデートしてから不具合が多いっすな。パッパカパッパッパー。なんで戻っちゃった。ね、一周しちゃった。でも何も言われなかった。せっかく見たのに。2年間アップデートしてなかったんだけど、2年間アップデートしてなかった。何これ。汚ね字。シュガーとどっこいどっこいやな。何も言われんくなったよ。
Oh no, oh no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
おもろ。音がロボロボしてきた。消して。なんでだろうな。困ったにゃ。困ったにゃ。これは？あ、入ってないな、音。入ってないっすな。よいしょ。インターネットインド以外のすべての違うね。よいしょ。ゲーム音だけってことはな、ゲーム音だけね、別ソフトでね、調整できるようにしてるからね。まあ、アップデートして多分そいつとこいつが仲悪いんだろうな。え？今何もしてないのに買っちゃってってるでしょ。なんなの？あ、ビリビリなんだ。ビリビリか。入れ直してもビリビリって大変だな。大変、大変。 治ったかも。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to
あ、今
his
大丈夫。
boss's office.
バセドセス。うん。おおおモニー・イン・ザ・モーニング。モニー・イン・ザ・エビング。モニー・フォア・ブルード・フォース。モニー・クリクプ。クリックじゃないね、これね。クリックだったらいくらでもクリックしてやったけどね。ああれ今まで勝手に閉まったっけ、トイレ。なんかお前、あ、違う。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
今度こそ下へ通ってみるか。バイバイ。さっき合ってたのにダメだったのか、やっぱり。こんにちは。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
エスケープって書いてあるよ。
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
なんで死んじゃうんだって。でも死んだからね、一回。
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
死んじゃうんかな。おー、死にそう。おー、死んだ。おー、あ、生きてる。
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated. as the machine crushed every bone in his
あれ
body, killing him instantly.
あれあれあれ
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
おー
Do you see now?
おー
Do you see that Stanley was
すげえ。
already dead from the moment he hit
オフィス
start?
レイアウト。おお。ボタンの音。おお。オフィス。床の色か。これスタンリーのあれか。飛ぶ棚飛ぶの？オフィスのパソコン。ゲームしてるやつがいますね。この作品をベースにしたものです。おお。そして火の打ちどころのないケビンぐらいのナレーター。おお。ね、クレジット見ちゃった。あれ？なんか全然見たことない上司のオフィスがある。あれ？すごいな。あ、なんかすごいネタバレを食らってる気がする。おお。すげえ。まるでまんまや。スタンリーのオフィス。すごい勢いでエンドのネタバレを見てる気がする。
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
End this injustice forever. Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the
やば
next
すぎ
time trying to...
ね、 NG 集だった。すごいね。いっぱいあったね。あっちだ。なんだこれ。なんだこれ。行くしかないのか。ん？あ、
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
お、あれ？
But listen to me. You can still save those two.
あれ？
You can stop the program before they both fail. Push
あれ？
escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now to be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
よし。 あれおお、帰ってきた。おお。
All of his co-workers were gone.
お、久しぶ
What
り
could
だ
it
な。
mean? Stanley decided to go to the
こいつの
meeting
声
room.
を聞くな。
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
いて。ドアに頭ぶつけた。ただいま。おもろすぎ。
When Stanley came
こ
to
の
a
ゲー
set
ムお
of
も
two
ろす
open
ぎ。
doors,
み
he
んな
entered the door
この
and
ゲーム
left.
おもろすぎ。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave
あれ
of disbelief,
あー、なん
Stanley
でそういう
decided
こ
to
と
go
す
up
る
to his
の
boss's office,
ね
hoping he might find an answer there.
ねえ出して開けてお願いダメだって。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
トイレ見てこう。ああ、一緒だった。なんだっけ、あいつより先に入力してやるんだ俺。コメント見直そう。2845。2845ね。2845、2845。
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
ねえ。
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
来た来た来た来た。あの先に行ってやるか。さすがにね。すねちゃうからね。たまには行ってやるか。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
こんなことないか。あの赤いところは何？あれスタンリーかもしかして。気のせいか。えい。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
解雇って書いてあるのか。
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Hey,
His own life
alright.
in someone else's control?
Alright.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Alright.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the
おいお
world?
い、どこ見てたか分かんなくなっちゃった。うん。てか。
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad. Or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
のこういうゲームあるよね。ボタン順番に押せね。1、2、あれ何番だろう。ここにあったら何番だっけ。3。じゃああれ4番か。あそこに行けないけど。あれ4番はあれ ?4 番そこだよな。ねえ、暗いよね。シュゴもね、全然見えないんだよね。でも、ここが開かないと無理くない？ 4 番押せないんですけど。もうダメだって。おー。4番押せなかったや。よし。
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
どういうこと？終わらせるんだ。たまにはね、言うこと聞いてやるか。
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
終わった？終わった？
Yes. He had
す
won.
ごい揺れてる
He
けど。
had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley, happy.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
お
Oh, new content? What does that mean?
What?
New content.
わわわ
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley
Konnichiwa.
Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
はい
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe,
Hi.
a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
はい
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable,
ね
delighting
表現大丈夫かな
audiences the world over.
はい
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new
すごい
Ultra Deluxe content.
はい
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
進まんないよ
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long
すご
last,
く
it's
ない
on to the
な
new
んか
content. I've
新
never
コンテン
been
ツに
more
さ
ready. Let's do it.
ナレーターもさドギマギしてない
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe mostly tedious.
そん
It's
な
as
こ
if
と
the...
ないですよ
Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
あこっちかあれ
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
うん
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
ここじゃないとできないんだけどえあれまあまあまあまあまあまあまあまあ次のエリアよね
Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good.
まだあって
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see,
Thank you
Stanley?
for-
This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm
Nah.
afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations.
大丈夫、期待に応えられてたよ
Why don't we just
新コンテン
reset
ツ
the
っていう
game
まあ
and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
ザ・
No
スタンリー
frills,
パラボ
no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
どうかなと思う。おおおおおおおああ閉められた。おお変わったよ。今度はこっちに行く予定だったのにね。あれなんか予想よか。おお
Stanley, come over here.
Eh?
In the vent. I
What
want to
the?
show you something.
わかった。こっち来てって言ってた。
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret.
おお
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it
お
all
おかわい
meant
い。
something.
え、怖。
Oh, the waste.
フリーダムエンドじゃん。おお開発者はエモいやろうなこれ。ああら素敵なんじゃないこの椅子に腰掛けられない。なんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだなんだ
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com.
怖いな。
James Stephanie
あ、
Sterling
怖い
writes,
な。
and I quote, Where so many games that aspire to be
あれ
more than games end up less than any
怖
form
い
of
な。
art.
あれ
Stanley Parable
あれ出
strives
してくだ
and
さ
then
い。
succeeds to be
出
every
してくだ
game
さい。
ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley?
出してください。
Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally
祀ってま
every
すよ
game
ね。
ever created. It was Skyrim. It was
10
Persona
点
3. It
10
was
点
all of
レ
them.
ビュー
And
を
now
祀ってますよね。
it's
ペルソナ3って言いました
It's no games at all.
よく口に出せま
It
したね
isn't
その
even
ゲー
the
ム
Stanley
名
Parable anymore. It's just a husk now.
よくそのゲーム名を口に出せました
Our
ね
new elevator
ああよかったよか
content.
ったよかったあダメかモリゾンマインテンメニュー適当すぎんかを
Here's another moving passage.
あれ
This time from
あれあれあれあれ
GameSpot.com.
あれあれ
The Stanley Parable is both a richly
Are,
stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in
Are,
games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
あれ こっちも開くの？
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
あれメモリーゾーン。あれ
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
あれ
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
だいぶ根に持ってる。あ大嵐やし。あ、グッドもあるよ、ほら、スタンリー。
Okay, let's see what this one says. Well, the idea for the game is good. For someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't.
このゲームめっちゃおもろ
What
い
an
な。
awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
敗
Like I
北
let
し
these
たような
people
気が
down.
します。
Perhaps the Stanley
したの？
parable isn't quite as
面
sterling
白
as
い
I
と思
always
うよ。
remembered.
ああああ
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customers.
おー
Yes, a skip button we shall have.
スキップボタン導入しちゃうの？
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so,
すごいね。
now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say,
the story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. The logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and... Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times. And there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button. And if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here. And more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it. And I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh my goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking, and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time. That if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us, and I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive. I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this
すご
means.
くない？めっちゃ
I'm
長
so
く
clear
ない？
about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming
どんぐらいあんだろう
silence
な。
as you will press the button for the next time.
ねえ。
What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart
声
to
優
think,
風の量
to
や
think
ばい
of
しさ
returning to such
ちゃんと
coldness,
話聞いててもわ
calm.
け
Let
わ
us
かんな
sit
いも
in
んね。
silence together here
お、
for just a moment.
一緒に
Let us
座りましょう。
anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
OK。おお、黙ったじゃん。ああ、一応全部終わりあるんだな。すごい。ああ、これ押すしかないんだな、じゃあ。ね。かわいいね。一人で寂しかったんだって。なるほどね。ね、待ってるとなんかあるかな。でもな、物置の時なかったんだよな。今回はどうなるかな。今何分だ。こんなもんか。かわいそうだよね。だって前1週間待たせたからさ、飛ばしたら1ヶ月ぐらい待たせそうだよ。時計は？時計入らなそう。見えねえ。ギリ見えねえか。どんな暗いんけこのゲーム。なんか変えられないんかな、画面の明るさ。画面の明るさ。ビデオ。安定。ディスプレイの解像違うな。コントロール。関係ないな。あ、ないな。ないな。何時か見えなかった。1時になってる。こう押すしかないんか。かわいそうやな。かわいそうやけども。
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of mist.
あ、あれ喋んなくなっちゃった、ついに。言ってる？あ、でも時計進んでないの。あ？うるさいうるさいうるさいうるさいうるさいうるさいうるさい。
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said,
一人で話してるの怖いんよ。あ、おまんま。おまんまれしてるよ。ほら。
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
あ、水漏れが半端ない。やばー。 ちょっとで外出れるかな。あ、出れそう。まだか。あ、まだか。ね、出れそう。あら、生命が誕生したわ。ま、綺麗。あ、あれ、どうしてあれ、ホラーテイストやな。お、来た来た。これ以上はこいつも来た来た。無理か。いなくなっちゃったかな。明るくて気持ちいい。いなくなっちゃったかな。あ、すごっ。ただいま。ということで、今日はね、もう23時にもなるし、今日はこの辺にしようかな。このゲームやば。このゲームめちゃやばいな。多分まだ半分も見れてないと思うんだよな、エンド。ということでね、気になった人はこのゲーム買ってやってみてください。めちゃめちゃナレーションの人と仲良くなれそうな気がする。楽しかったたまらんな、やっぱこういうソロゲーな。こういうのめっちゃ好きなんだよな。はい、ということで今日は最後まで見てくれてありがとうございましたね。クラウドファンディング残り1週間を切ったということで、27日がね最終日なんですけれども、27日の最終日まで頑張りたいと思いますので、ぜひ応援よろしくお願いしますということで、今日はね日曜日だったらね、人間明日からお仕事の人多いと思うんですけどね、頑張ってくださいということで、シュガの分まで頑張ってください。よろしくお願いしますということで今日はお疲れ様でした。おつりじゅー、バイバーイ。